They're fun to watch. It makes me proud to wear the stuff. I mean, I'm down here in Dallas, Texas, rolling Penn State baseball stuff everywhere I can, man.
Every team has characters and funny guys, and you were certainly one of those guys that's kind of the glue in the clubhouse. And talk, TK, about kind of how you ended up at Penn State.
Man, went up there and just fell in love with the school and fell in love with just the culture and the atmosphere around it, man. And, you know, we went to a whiteout football game and it was snowing. And, like, it's kind of weird to admit, but it was the first time that I had seen snow fall from the sky. Like, I'd only ever seen it on the ground on a ski. It was coming down. I just remember sitting there in Beaver Stadium like, man, this is pretty neat.
We said we needed a get back week.
We did.
We got the get back week.
We did.
4-0, dude. That's
We
good.
handled some adversity, right? 3-6 into 9 previous, and then we go 4-0 this week.
TK, we have a lot of memories. One I hardly remember, but I'm going to tell this story real quick. It's timely since we just played Minnesota.
Yeah.
But when we traveled to Minnesota, I'll never forget this because there was a Fogo de Chao right down the street from our hotel.
Dude.
We were eating like ramen for the first 2 nights, so we had these big plans to go to Fogo de Chao with our per diem money.
Absolutely.
And, that game, I get in a collision, 2 teeth knocked out, bit through my tongue, like knocked out cold. I don't get to go to Golden Corral. I love that.
Golden Corral. That was a little different. That I'm sure we've been to a Golden Corral though too.
I got a good story from playing days about that too. But I don't go to Fogo de Chao. I ate Campbell's chicken noodle soup from the hotel lobby. And trying to nurse this concussion I got. You come back to the room, you're blasting freaking Dirty Jobs on the TV, max volume. I can't sleep. You remember this?
That's my fault. Yeah, I do. I was wondering where you were going with it. I knew we were rooming together. I figured I was doing something stupid, so I'm sorry, man. But I matured a little bit since those days. But back then, I couldn't get my hits if I didn't watch. I think it was. What was it? Wicked Tuna. It might not have been Dirty Jobs, but that's part of my routine.
Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel. Yeah. Well, TK, for all the way out there in Texas, have you been following the boys this year?
I've been following them. I was, dude, super happy to watch them play, honestly, because they play so hard. I would say last year I went to the Luke Combs concert, and that's the first time that I saw him play under the new regime there, and you know, you saw some cool things happen then. I saw a guy, Adam Cesiri, that played baseball with my brother at Wake, had transferred there, and just heard nothing but great things from him about how things were going. It was cool to see it live, and since then I've been hooked, man. So yeah, they've been playing hard, and you know, besides playing hard, like we're starting to hit balls pull side at Medler. Pull side righty homers just like regularly. What's going on with that? It's pretty cool.
I don't know.
I couldn't snip it, dude. I would hit like the guy would just be camped underneath it if I got all of it. So it's super neat to watch these guys, man, and yeah, it's fun to follow them.
Something changed there. I know they did move. I think the Nook is gone. It's not what it used to be. 410 left center.
Well, listen, I'm trying, you know, it was far. It's like one of those things where you're like, you walked uphill both ways or whatever. The Nook was far. Yeah. It was far.
In 10 years, it'll have been 435 to left center. Just gets wrong.
Why not?
Well, speaking of the team, Penn State Baseball's 21-10 now, 9-6 in the Big Ten. And we're tied for 5th right now in Big Ten standings. So after a huge weekend sweeping Minnesota, I mean, the team's in an outstanding place. So let me just run through kind of our weekend here and some top performers. But we beat Bucknell midweek. Thank the Lord. Could never. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
You gotta love those You gotta love those Bucknell midweeks.
Well, hey, we smoked them 14-3.
You're breaking up a little bit, Bubba.
Am I? You got me back.
Bucknell, we did.
14-3.
You were a little bit. Yeah, I got you now.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Bryce Molinaro, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, midweek champ.
Just another day in the yard. Just another day at the yard for the kid.
Did you? I don't think there was one multi-home run game in the history of Medler Field before like this year.
Gearsy might have done it. Like
Gearsy lefty,
maybe. Yeah, but dude, from the right side, I don't know. But I used to love those Bucknell midweeks, man. I'm not trying to throw salt at them, but man, those were good to have on the radar.
Definitely. I'm just going to bite my tongue on that. Yeah, so huge win. I think that was our 16th game this year, scoring over 10 runs. And then we did 2 more times. So I think 18 games, our offense has put up 10 plus runs, which is nuts. But for the weekend series, win game 1, 10-4 Friday night. Always big time put up double digit runs on a Friday night game because you're facing a good offense.
Absolutely. And you just feel good going into Saturday after you do that too, man. That's awesome.
Without a doubt. And the one thing with this team, obviously our record's phenomenal when we score 10 plus runs. Like that goes, without saying. But the one thing that we haven't really seen yet is, can we squeak out those tight games?
Right.
And as you know, like in those games where both guys on the mound are pumping, they're hitting their spots. You got to find other ways to score. You got to play good defense and keep them out of scoring position. In the second game, we win 5-2, which to me is a great sign. We scored 4 runs in the top of the ninth to win that game 5-2. And
I was watching that one. That's awesome, man. And like, I think that's also, like, you're saying a bunch of the right things about the defense and pitching and throwing strikes and having to manufacture runs, but it all comes down to the culture and like the fact that they knew they were about to win that game, right? I think there's just an energy around the team that you feel that's a little different, which is cool, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's the same with you, but I think from being in that dugout before and now having more of like a fan perspective of the team, watching them play, like you can see the culture, you can see their confidence in how they're playing the game. And that's what's most exciting to me, because they're a fun team to watch. Like
they're fun to watch. It makes me proud to wear the stuff. I mean, I'm down here in Dallas, Texas, rolling Penn State baseball stuff everywhere I can, man. And like just spreading the word and spreading the good word, because we're here at this youth baseball facility that I work at, and like there's some guys down here. I know we're trying to control the state up there, but it'd be cool to get some down south guys up there too, man. You never know.
I think they're creating an attractive enough atmosphere to get guys to come from out of the area. And you did, coming from Florida. Let me finish we'll finish the recap, and then we'll get into your story, because you got a cool story and how you ended up at Penn State.
Absolutely, man.
But I mean, the crowds are getting dollar dog nights. We talk about dollar dog night a lot on here.
Oh man, I'd be wearing it out if I was local.
I'd be wearing it out in the dugout if I was still playing it. Right? Dogs sent down to me.
Right.
But they're getting huge crowds, so I think they're creating an atmosphere that's going to attract some guys from out of state. That 15 years ago might not have considered a place like Penn State, because everybody thinks of it like, cold weather, playing in the snow and the hail and the sleet.
That's where the tough guys do it, man.
That's right. It builds character.
Right.
All these soft guys in the South, they're
too pampered. You got to go up there and earn something.
That's right.
So what happened on Sunday when we swept their butts?
We smoked them 15-10.
Yeah, just another masterful offensive performance.
17 hits, almost a steak dinner.
Yeah, we used to do that. I don't think we ever got to 20. He always, maybe that's a good little tidbit. And I like that. 20 hits equals a steak dinner, but we almost did that Fogo de Chao. We know that got blown. I think we did end up going to that Golden Corral. So,
no, you guys went to Fogo de Chao. I didn't get to go because I had a hole in my
right. That's what it was. Now I remember.
But kind of my top performer of the week, Bryce Molinaro in the midweek went 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Sunday against Minnesota, 4 for 5, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Dude is raking. He got off to kind of a slow start this year, but a big time draft prospect. He's listed to go in, I think, the first 2 days are
Oh, wow.
projected. So the swing is the real deal. Like you can look at a guy take one swing and you go, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's got that. And statistically, early on, he kind of got off to a slow start, but he's starting to come into midseason form here, which is perfect timing.
That's awesome.
Penn State baseball's right in the thick of it. But
Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him for sticking through it and having some success now, and hopefully that just keeps happening, man.
For sure. All right, I want to talk about TK a little bit.
All right, a little bit of me.
Every team has characters and funny guys, and you were certainly one of those guys that's kind of the glue in the clubhouse, and
Sure.
but and came from a unique background compared to the rest of the roster we had at Penn State. So talk, TK, about kind of how you ended up at Penn State.
Oh man, it was pretty unique, right? Like how I ended up choosing Penn State, but I'm from like South Florida area and grew up down there. Originally I had committed to UF, which I don't know what they were thinking originally, but I was committed there to Florida at a very early age. And just throughout my whole high school career thought I was going there, and God kind of humbled me a little bit and they decommitted me right before National Signing Day, and I needed a place that had some scholarship opportunity, and Penn State was one of them. So my mom's, I don't know if you know this, Christian, my mom's originally from Pittsburgh. And I have some family in a small town in Pennsylvania called Sayre, Pennsylvania. So somewhat kind of like a connection, and they're all Penn State people and fans. And I was like, well, shoot, I might as well at least go watch a football game up there. That'll be a cool experience. And, man, went up there and just fell in love with the school and fell in love with just the culture and the atmosphere around it, man. And we went to a whiteout football game and it was snowing, and like it's kind of weird to admit, but it was the first time that I had seen snow fall from the sky. Like I'd only ever seen it on the ground on a ski. It was coming down. I just remember sitting there in Beaver Stadium, like, man, this is pretty neat. And the coach at the time, Jason Bell, was the recruiting coordinator, and Robbie Wine was the coach at the time. But Jason Bell took me over to the field, and he turned the lights on at night, and I saw it kind of like just pop up there, and it looked so pretty, man. And dude, I called my dad that night, and I was like, if they offer me, I'm going to commit. And sure enough, the next morning, we went to breakfast somewhere, I think Waffle Shop, and they offered me, and the rest is rock and roll history, man. I wouldn't change anything, dude.
Waffle Shop. Yeah, it's funny how you can look back and see how everything kind of happened for a reason. Because in a lot of ways, your story is kind of similar to mine. Like I didn't start off at Penn State. I didn't plan on going there, but wrote all my life and roads led me there, and so much great has happened because of that. But I mean, just thinking back to all the good times we have, like I wouldn't trade that for anything.
No, it was a fantastic group of guys, and honestly, man, like I'm man enough to admit that the caliber of baseball, like we weren't even close to what they got cooking right now, but that's what makes me proud to be a fan. But we were definitely trying to work hard and build a culture, and have guys that were playing the game the right way, and I can hang my hat on that a little bit. But good things happened at Penn State. I mean, both of us met our wives there, right? Like, I mean, I think you know Hannah before then potentially, but
I did, but we don't need to get into
exactly. My bad. Sorry,
so yes,
I don't want to get you in any trouble or anything. My bad. But no, like it's funny how it all works out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt. But going back to just I guess our performance on the field, like
for sure,
nobody wanted to win worse than we did, and I think what people need to understand is how small the margin for error is at that level. Like the difference in a winning season and going 10-45 is pretty small. Like
right.
You get a little mojo going the right direction, you have a great season. A little mojo and a little doubt in our minds the opposite direction, you have a bad season. But we played with a ton of dudes there, like a
Oh
ton of guys
yeah.
that had super successful professional baseball careers.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like just guys that were dogs, to be honest, that played the game the right way. Like I'll give him a shout out right now. Jimmy Haley is one of the toughest guys I know.
Yep.
And I learned a lot about playing the game the right way from playing with Jim. And, we had a guy, Jack Anderson, that was, I mean, he was nails out of the pen. Like when Jack would come in the seventh sometimes, bro, and shut the door for 3 innings, and we'd squeak out of there with the win. And then he'd throw on Saturday because Jack had, I don't know if people know Jack, but he had this goofy kind of arm angle. And man, I don't think I ever got a hit off of him in Haluba in 4 years, Haluba the indoor. Holy smokes, he was
You couldn't
nice.
see
But
anything in there. There's
no,
gear.
I mean I would blame it on something always, but he was nice, man. And no, we played with some dudes, but we also played with some guys that were, you know, just trying to make the most of what they had. I would think I'm one of those kind of guys. I fall in that bucket and was just everything that we got was from how hard we would have played, right? And I
Yeah.
think in that last year that I was there, that 2016 year, we were kind of trending in the right direction, and that was good. And but to
Yeah.
see what they got cooking now, man, I mean, it's awesome.
I know it's fun to just be able to have our perspective from when we played and see them play now. Obviously, they got some huge guys out of the portal. Paxton Kling being one of them. He came from
Yeah,
LSU. One of the he's from Central PA near where I grew up, so I knew about him for a while. Was skeptical of how good he was. Everybody's telling me how good he is. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm the big dog in Central PA. Like,
he's the man, though, huh?
then I watched him play one game. I'm like, this dude's way better than
Yeah,
I
this guy's the man, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he
Yeah, he's
played.
hitting like 1,000 or whatever he's hitting, so I'm sure
Yeah,
it's working out.
he's definitely a weapon, and he's living up to the hype that came with him to Penn State. But that speaks to like the culture and atmosphere that Gambino and the rest of the coaching staff and Pat Kraft, the athletic director, is creating there. Like they're getting guys like a Paxton Kling that played at LSU and are looking for a change in scenery. He could have gone probably, I don't know for certain where, but probably anywhere in the country that he wanted to go. And
Right,
he
and the
chose,
fact that he felt comfortable there, I mean, that just shows how much of a dog the coach is, man. The fact that he's able to have those conversations and take control of that leveraged moment. I mean, holy smokes, that's big time. And dude, like Adam was a big pickup last year,
yeah,
Ceciri, right? And I know
yeah,
he's a PA guy originally, and just in a couple of small talks with him, it's not like we're best pals, but in a couple of small talks, he had nothing but positive stuff to say, and he was coming from a damn good program, man.
yeah.
So I think that's great, and it just kind of elevates everybody else as well.
Mhm.
And just I think Penn State, bro, it has everything. It's awesome academically, awesome from a culture experience. Like you're gonna have some of the best pals, have some of the best times. You get to go to baseball or football games at Beaver Stadium. You get to watch. I mean, if you want to dive in, like I used to go to the wrestling matches, bro. Like they were so nasty.
They were some of the best.
Oh my gosh, they used to do it at Bryce Jordan. Like, holy
Yeah.
smokes. Girls volleyball was always really good. My wife played lacrosse there. They're always talented. So I think everything was checked. It was just like, from a baseball perspective, like, if you're a dude, like, do you want to go play there? And now they're starting to get those dudes, man. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, think of just the athletic department as a whole when we were there. Like women's volleyball won multiple national championships. Wrestling, I think, won four.
Yeah.
Uh,
Women's soccer.
women's soccer won national championship. Like our women's lacrosse team, like made it to the Final Four.
Right.
Football
Yeah.
won a Big Ten championship. It was crazy, and
Yeah.
and you get to experience all that and kind of be a part of it from being at a place like Penn State.
No, absolutely, man. Again, I meant it when I said it. I wouldn't have changed it for the world, man. And like, I wear it proudly around here in Dallas, man. It's cool. You
So
don't see a bunch of them, but every once in a while you get a little "we are." It's good.
I was going to ask you how often do you wear something and somebody says something to you? Because I'm in Atlanta and all the time, like
Yeah,
every single
dude.
day.
I would say once a week at least, man. Oh, what's up, Cool Breeze?
Sal, what's up?
Dude, I'm fucking grinding like a fucking.
We're recording, so I don't know if they're going to want to cut that out, but
Absolutely. Or just bleep it.
I'm fucking fired up now, baby. What up, TK?
Yo, what's up, baby?
This fires me up.
Oh, dude, it's good to see
This
you guys. That's the
fires
other
me
thing.
up. Seeing
The
you
Cal-
like almost
Yeah.
in the flesh right now. Like
Well,
my heart is just racing, just sitting here.
if I was there, I'd give you that big bear hug you've been missing, Bubba. But no, it's good to see you guys for real, and I appreciate the shout out with the cowboy hat. That's good stuff.
yeah, I was hoping you'd be wearing one too, but
Well, that was earlier today at work, Helsel. Now I'm relaxing. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm working, I got that sucker on.
that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into their weekend series and stuff, this has got me thinking, like, we got to get like 6 or 7 of us on here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't know if anybody could get a word in, but
Like a Mount Rushmore.
there had to be something entertaining.
No, yeah, but dude, TK, this excites me having you on here.
Oh, dude, I
know
appreciate it, man.
In my personal career at Penn State, you did a lot for me. You know, kind of taking me under your wing and stuff like that. Like, dude, you were a competitor. Like, you were a winner. You know, you were someone that I had a ton of respect for when it came to, you know, not only the game of baseball, but like a person in life itself. Like, you know, you're one of my lifelong friends. Like, you know, your family. You know, they're great people. They're unbelievable people. And then just ultimately, like, what you did for me, you know, personally, like, as a player, like, you know, I never was a starter in my life. I get to college, you know, I'm a reliever. You knew there were ups and downs with that. My sophomore year, I'm a starter. You know, you also seen the ups and downs with that. And, like, you know, ultimately having kind of like a big brother figure, somebody, you know, who was always in my ear, who always kind of kept me going. And, you know, I personally, like, I appreciate a lot of what you did for me. And I don't think I ever told you that, but, like, you were a big piece of, you know, my development as a baseball player. And, you know, that's the first thing that I want to do is just kind of thank you for that, because
Oh, dude,
you know,
man.
this fires me up getting you on here.
Oh, dude, it fires me up too, bro. You're gonna make me emotional, bud. That's good stuff. And no, you're a dog, man. I always knew it. And like anybody that plays hoops and scores hoops like that, it's not that hard to throw strikes, bro. That's what I used to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So
You ain't lying, dude.
It-
Sometimes I'd be out on the mound, I'd be like, this it's a free throw. It's a free throw.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a lot more intent at the end, baby.
absolutely, dude. And like, no, I appreciate it. Y'all always had my back too, and I just always tried to do my best to have everybody's back. That's all.
Yeah, no, you're dude, you're still, to this day, you're one of my favorite teammates
Oh,
that I've
dude.
ever had.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And
Fired-
yeah, like
I'm
you said,
fired
we're
up
all
about this
family
next
always.
hour.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's let it rip, dude. I want to hear about because the boys are hot, Sal. I don't know if you've seen Bubba, but that's they're cooking now. It's not just like an idea anymore. Like they're really doing this thing.
They're swinging it, dude. They went to Minnesota, and you know when we went to Minnesota, that's a hard place to play.
Yeah, dude.
You know, they have a lot of gritty, you know, batters and stuff like that. You know, maybe they're not as high up in the Big Ten, you know, as they typically are
No, it's
this
a tough
year.
place
but, like,
to play, like you said, bro. It's tough there. It's cold
dude,
always.
anytime you're getting the brooms out at the end of the series and they're sweeping their own dugouts, you know it's a good weekend.
Absolutely, man.
It's so hard to win 3 games in a row against anybody. I don't care who you're playing, especially an in-conference opponent. Minnesota, if you look at their record in the Big Ten, it's not good. They're 1-9. But if you look at who they played, they played pretty much before
All
Penn
the top
State,
dogs.
all the top teams in the Big Ten.
Right.
And for Penn State, and they played them pretty close. For Penn State to go in there and sweep them at their place, I think that validates that Penn State is also one of those top teams in the Big Ten.
And dude, all 3 of us know how important every Big Ten win is.
Everyone.
Bro,
Every one of them.
senior
You know,
senior year, we missed the tournament by 1 game, right? And then
One game.
you lose
That's it,
sleep
bro.
thinking about all those 1 games, that one thing that could have gone the other way, that one ball that bounced the wrong direction. Like, but dude, this team's at a different caliber, Sal. They're playing tough. They're playing together, and it's fun to watch.
You like the barrels. You like the swings.
Bro, I love the barrels. I love the attitude, dog. Like Christian was talking about how we scored 4 in the top of the ninth on Saturday to take that W. Like you just feel the energy when you watch them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, for sure.
they don't expect to lose. I know that.
It's dynamic. That's what
Yeah.
Coach Gambino said. He said that the offense is dynamic. He said, they could hit the long ball, doubles, triples. They're running. They're hitting, running. They're finding ways to be really good.
No doubt.
But let's recap this week. Started with slapping the shit out of Bucknell.
I love it. That you see that game. Those midweeks can sneak up on you big time. We talked about this before, Sal. Just a lot. I swear, every midweek game is freezing cold. I don't know why. I don't know if that was the case this week. But listen, every time Bucknell comes to Penn State, it's their World Series.
Any Pennsylvania school, like little brother school,
Yeah.
they want to beat the big brother. It's simple. They bring energy. You have the target on your back, really, like, you're supposed to win the game, right? But if you lose, you're questioning yourself, and if you don't win by a lot, you're also questioning yourself.
Right.
Bro,
But-
I used to hate going 0 for 4 on Tuesday, dog. I used to hate it. But it happens.
Pad the stats on those days, right?
Dude, no doubt, bro. Sundays and Tuesdays, that's where you get your average up. But like these guys are scoring 15 runs on Friday though, Sal.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you leave it over the heart of the plate against this team, like it's getting tattooed somewhere.
Yeah.
Right, from 1 through 9.
What's the hitting coach? What's the hitting coach's name?
That would be dang, dude.
So they have two of them.
Wow.
Nick Puccio is coaching more of like the in-game live hitting,
Sure.
and then our other hitting coach is coaching like the actual mechanics of the swing.
Well, whatever they're doing, it's working, bro. Sorry for throwing you on the spot, but I just,
No, you're good.
they're doing good.
We haven't had them on yet, so I don't have quite a personal relationship.
No, and we're trying to get them on. We actually specifically want the hitting coaches on.
Yeah.
But hey, they're busy just building big league swings, so we'll give them a benefit of the doubt.
Hinge and rotate, baby. Hinge and let it eat.
No, Sal, you used to talk me up all the time too, because my BP was always just little line drives, and you used to come over and tell me, you're like, bro, you're so cold with the little liners, TK. I was like, that's what's
I was
up,
just
dog.
trying to get in there, dude. I wanted to use a little bit more of that muscle.
Nothing would piss me off more than Sal walking over to me telling me how to hit.
Oh, well, Sal, dude, I don't know if you know this.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I wanted to win.
Kristen, were you there freshman year when Sal actually did come in and try to take some swings and play a little second base?
And I was just hitting lineas dead center.
You wish, dog. Your spot was on the mound.
You were one of the best drag bunters I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah, the speed. I mean, I'm like a cheetah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You ever see a cheetah stretch?
Yeah,
Well,
that's great.
what I'll say about you two is you guys were like some of the most, for lack of a better term, baseball junkies that I've ever met. Like you guys just love the game, all aspects of it.
Yeah.
Sal was just like intense all the time, but had fun with it. TK was like fanatical about the fundamentals. Nothing pissed him off more than our pitchers walking somebody.
I hate walks.
How hard is it to throw a strike?
Throwing his
would throw
bat,
salt.
pissed off.
Yeah.
I would throw salt at that. I won't lie. But I am a baseball junkie, dude. I mean, I'm doing this for my buddy's baseball facility right now. I got a full-time job and 2 kids, and I can't find my way from breaking away from this place, dude, just because I love it so much. And this baseball is what's up. It teaches you the best lessons about life, and it's so applicable, like, after the game, like the lessons that you learn from it. But when I go to sleep and I'm laughing and giggling and stuff, it's all about stories from when we were playing back then, bro. So
No doubt.
Sal, we were talking about how it's like coming full circle now, right? Because you got Penn State academically, which is dope. You got the football program. You get to go to Beaver Stadium in whiteouts. You get all these other athletic departments that are always winning. You can go watch girls soccer, girls lacrosse, girls volleyball, men's wrestling. You can go watch all this and watch people compete at a national level. But now, like, for a guy who's in the portal, you get all that fun stuff. You get to check the box academically, but now you can check the baseball box, bro, which is awesome. I think, like, this is just the start of what's going to be coming.
Yeah, dude, and think about how much more appealing Penn State is to a hitter right now. Like, the 410-foot nook is gone.
Thank goodness.
Right? So now, like, maybe it's not a hitter's park all the way, but, like, we can argue it's swinging towards being a hitter's park.
Well, Bubba, they're making it one. I mean, I've never seen so many right-handed pull-side homers at Medler ever, bro. Like, dude, to get it out at Medler as a righty, you better pack a lunch, dog. And they're doing it consistently, which is exciting. Like, in the 4 years I played there, and again, we were crap compared to these teams, but in the 4 years I played there, I never hit a home run to left field, dude. And that says a lot about me as a player. But I mean, they would just.
You were a little line drive machine, a little Oppo taco.
But if I tried to get in one,
Mickey's.
If I tried to get one to left, they'd catch that sucker though.
Every one of my home runs in college was at an away game. I never hit one, and I've tattooed some balls at Medler. I hit a ground rule double over the 410 sign. It's a home run in every other ballpark in America. And by the way, three right-handed home runs, right-handed pull-side home runs, while in my 3 years at Penn State.
First game Tuesday this week though. Bryce Molinaro, 2 of them, Hazleton area. Great.
Yeah, just another day at the yard, bro. Just another day at the yard for the kid. I'm telling you, he's nice, dog. And the kid from LSU, he can swing too.
Paxton Kling, dude.
They all can. The Jakonski brothers are. Dude,
the Jakonski brothers are unreal.
No doubt. No doubt. You know, we had some players when we were playing, but it never was like I don't think we ever really played a whole season as a team. We had moments, but we didn't play a whole season as a team. I'm super excited to see how these guys finish out, man, because so far it's so evident that they have each other's backs, right? And there's so many games that are like, you know, could we be doing better in some of these low-scoring games? Yes, and we're going to tighten some of that stuff up. But the grit is there. You know what I'm saying?
But hey, we had quality starts on a weekend.
That's
we had
great.
2 6-inning starters on our weekend. Mason
it.
Horwat and Ryan DeSanto.
That's awesome.
Both of them went 6 innings Friday, and then Saturday, you know, the relief, first of all, that gives the bullpen, you know, and then, you know, they're massive starts because after that, we don't have to go to as many relievers. We could keep our relievers fresher because on Friday night, Anthony Steele comes in, 1 inning, 3 punches. Okay. Only had to throw 1 inning. Didn't have to be extended. Didn't have to throw 2-3 innings. Comes back the next day, gets a save.
You're so right about how it relieves the bullpen. Like, I remember, like, we would get you guys to 6 innings or something, and then we would just flip the ball to Jandy in the 7th and say, let it rip. You know what I mean? And again, we had other guys that could get outs down there for sure, but don't get it twisted. I don't know if you guys have talked about Jack Anderson yet on this, but man, did he have a goofy arm angle, but he had the heart of a champion, brother. That guy was in there to win, homie. I love playing with Jack.
Still, to this day, I don't care what anyone says, he's still one of the best pitchers I've ever seen.
At
every level, going up. When it comes to effectiveness and just being a hound dog on the attack, going to get outs, going to collect outs, and just being a winner.
Oh, being a winner. And Sal, let's not forget, like, and I know in pro ball he got his slider and his change and all that.
Dude, my man was a 2-time AA MVP.
Yo, but at Penn State, the whole time I was there, he might as well have gone like this before every pitch.
Yeah, just told them. Just told them. Because, dude, the silliest thing I ever seen was when he was with the Mariners and they started telling him to throw sliders at the top of the zone. He's throwing a slider from down here on the mound, and it's coming up and across the zone.
It's unbelievable.
Like, the guy just had outlier shit, and he went after you with it. He knew how good he was every time he was on the mound. He knew
No,
it.
it was so yeah. We had guys like him. I mean, the dog of all dogs is Jim Haley. Like you got
I'm
to
still
get
on
that.
the gallons. I'm still on the gallons.
Yeah, well, I taught you that, dude. I need to get back on that. I've been
You
drinking too
still
many
putting salt in
Celsius.
it? Remember
Hey, the salt's in it. Liquid IV, lemons.
I remember you watched some bodybuilder video and he told you put salt in it. You start doing that, and our dietitian's like, "What are you guys drinking?" I'm like, "I don't know." Sal told me to drink.
Sal's
It's
secret
called
formula.
electrolytes.
Yeah, branched chain amino acids.
It's called hydrating.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably your greatest strength, to be honest.
All right, let's rip this. Let's get into the Bucknell.
Well, we kind of already talked about it. They smoked Bucknell, and I'd say Bryce Molinaro is my hitter of the game. That game, 2 for 4, 2 bombs at home.
14-3.
14-3.
Pretty good win.
Just love that going into the week too. You know what I mean? The weekend rather.
Because at Penn State, like that's how you feel you should beat. Those other in-state teams. Like you want to kill them, and to go out there and do it like sets the tone for the rest of the week. Certainly seemed like it did.
And yeah, we gave up 3 runs. We punched out 11. 7 walks, a little bit, high, but in my opinion, kind of through developmental guys that, aren't necessarily like the guys yet, but might be as they continue to mature and they continue to get better and better.
But
right? So
you guys know
we got some innings out of guys that, aren't always out there, and I think they did pretty good with it.
No doubt.
And that's so important to be able to get those guys innings and in-game action, because at some point their name's getting called in a pretty big situation.
Because everybody talks about development, but then they throw 6 or 7 or 8 guys and they play 9 guys in the field. Right? So now, okay, we're spreading out opportunities. We're giving guys chances to get their feet wet, and we're giving guys chances to get confident in the game.
Yeah.
Where it matters.
Hey, and when you swing the bat the way we swing the bat, you can afford to do it.
That's good leading us into the weekend too.
And to your point, TK, that's what a good offense can do for a team. Like you blow teams out and you get other guys opportunities, which pays massive dividends when it comes to crunch time at the end of the year. When you're 1 or 2 injuries away from having guys on the field that may or may not have had much playing time. And when you're putting it 2 teams like they are, like everybody on the bench has been in the game and knows what it feels like, and is just feeding on that confidence that the team is brewing up. So it's huge.
No doubt.
Yeah, no, dude. And then going into the Big Ten series, we said we needed a get back week.
We did.
We got the get back week.
We did.
4-0, dude. That's
we
good.
handled some adversity, right? 3-6 in the 9 previous, and then we go 4-0 this week.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like, we want to see how because beginning of the season they were killing everybody, and they hadn't really had any real adversity yet, and we wanted to see how they're going to respond to that adversity. They had that the past 2 weekend series. We dropped both of those.
Yeah, and we only scored 44 runs in 4 games.
That's good math.
Hey, the boys were fired up. That's great. You gotta want to take it across the country this weekend, though. I think that's pretty neat. So, is this a Big Ten series that they're playing now out there?
Yeah, dude, USC.
Way
That's
to keep
wild.
up with the conference
That's
alignment.
sick.
Yeah, seriously, I'm a little out of the game on that. I saw it on the schedule. I was like, "Dang, is it spring break?" And I was like, "No, they're just going to kick their butt over there on the West Coast."
Dude, think about that, right, TK? So you're from Florida, but you live in Texas now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And now the Big Ten has expanded to Oregon, Washington, USC, Stanford. Like, look at the additions to the Big Ten. How much better is the Big Ten now?
Oh, it's
How much
so
more
good.
appealing is the Big Ten to anybody?
Well, what it is, Sal, is like for a portal guy, you can go to Penn State, and if you perform, you're gonna get picked up. It's not like transferring or portaling somewhere where like, it might happen, it might not. You're gonna get the exposure. You're gonna get it at the highest level, and you're gonna play competitive enough baseball that the pro scouts can see it, right? And they can judge you like in a real way. So I think it's super like, appealing to a portal guy to go, and also appealing to in-state guys out of high school to go and just, to your point, get developed the right way.
Yeah, dude, and just like thinking about you and your recruiting, your process, like you were committed to the Florida Gators.
That's what's up.
And then you came to Penn State, so like as somebody from out of state, like first of all, like what appeals you the most about Penn State?
Man, when they dropped me, Sal, like I needed an opportunity, and I was like kind of lost. And when I went up there, bro, on that official visit and watched the whiteout football game at Beaver Stadium, bro, and I saw snow fall from the sky, and I'm from Florida, I'd never seen it happen before. That was it, bro. Like because at that moment, like if you go to Penn State, you feel what I'm trying to say right now. Like it's special, bro. And to be a part of that is so cool. And to be a kid from South Florida who didn't know junk about Penn State before I went there, like, dude, I wear this stuff in Dallas, Texas every day, bro. I love rocking the Penn State stuff. I'm super proud to have gone there, and like,
how many We R's do you get in Texas?
Dude, I get a decent amount of them. They're everywhere, bro. But like,
everywhere.
I went up to that Luke Combs concert last year, man, and just like that was the first time I had been back, and it's just the same feeling, bro. It's super cool, and that was a weird situation with Florida. I was committed there at a super young age, and to be honest, I don't really know what they were thinking, but they offered me the scholarship, right? And to me, it was a cool thing to be committed there. But when they changed up on me at that late in the recruiting process, Penn State had an opportunity for me. I went up there, and bro, you know who I saw at the football game? Mr. Coates and James Coates, okay? And like, you want to talk about a Penn State legend, bro? Jim Coates and James Coates, but Jim specifically, he won 2 national championships at Penn State, and we're standing on the sideline, and he's shaking my hand, and he's got the rings on his hand, and he's like,
flexing,
dude. And I was like, this is sick, bro. So I met some cool people there, man. Like I mentioned it, like we played with some really good players, and I wouldn't change it for the world, man. We had some ups and downs from a win-loss perspective, but it was.
And who do you know? Who do you know from Penn State that's not successful?
Buddy, it's like, knock on wood, I might be the only one who's not. I'm just joking around, but no, like everybody's doing extremely well, man, and like. I think there's something about baseball guys getting into work after, right? They're used to dealing with ups and downs and, just trying to stay consistent with stuff. But, yeah, everybody's doing great, bro. I love catching up with people. I do my best to try to keep in touch with everybody. We got a little group text and stuff, but I know everybody's happy about what's going on with the program, bro. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. We talk about it all the time. But to your story on how you got to Penn State, like, call it divine intervention on how you ended up at Penn State, but not many, baseball players from South Florida end up there. You just happen to have the opportunity to be exposed to what Penn State can offer. And like you said, like the moment you experience it and you're there and you see everything, you're like, wow, this place is unbelievable.
Right.
And it's just an exposure thing. And I think in the baseball world, the team being as successful and as good as they are now and getting this more national exposure is giving that exposure to kids from elsewhere in the country that is kind of opening their eyes to like, actually, Penn State seems like kind of sick place to go play baseball.
Dude,
yeah, dude, I didn't overthink that's the thing, right? Yeah. You bring anybody to Penn State, they're going to feel the energy, right? And now you bring a baseball player to Penn State, they're going to feel even more energy.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Because they're winning, they're swinging the shit out of it, and
they're selling dollar dogs, Sal.
Christian loves the dollar dogs.
Dollar dogs,
dude. They're selling dollar dogs.
Listen, I like the dollar dogs. I personally like hot dogs. Like, really, they're not going to build like the 100-mile-an-hour bodies that we need. but like, I think the doubles and the home runs are going to pack those stands even more than them dogs could even think about it.
Absolutely, man. Because think about it, like we used to go to all those sporting events, bro. Like for all the different programs, and that's the thing. It really is like a family, and everybody will come out and support if they keep showing out. That's for sure.
Dude,
Hey,
before the year started, the State College Spikes, that place was packed out, 4,000 or 5,000 a night.
People love baseball there.
here's the deal. Then I'm gonna put this on here right now for everybody else who's like a Penn State guy that's gonna listen. That's around my timeline. Where's the Big Ten tournament this year?
Omaha.
You guys don't know, do you?
It's in
Is it
Omaha.
It
Is
was
it? I have no idea where it is. I'm asking you.
Dude,
Because-
it's in Omaha every year.
Time. We're focused on today.
No, but we're gonna go to the Big Ten tournament, and when we go, we're getting the box, Bubba, and we're about to bring some real energy to that stadium, and we're gonna win the whole freaking thing. I'm telling you. Let's
And
do
Big
it.
Ten tournament, Omaha, Nebraska, Charles Schwab Field.
Book it. Book it. Let's get the box, dog.
All right. Bottle service.
Let's
Dude,
do
if they
it.
make it to the championship, I want a whiteout.
Let's go, baby.
Let's head that. We'll spearhead it.
Yeah, man. I think so. I think
Yeah.
they deserve to have people supporting them, man. And if they're, it used to be a ghost town on a Tuesday when we would play, Bubba. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. So it's cool that they got people coming out, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things for me. I mean, I grew up right there near Penn State, and I'll be 100% honest. As a kid, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 games. I live 35 minutes from there. And now, and just families I know from back home, they're going to Penn State baseball games. Like they're making a little family trip over there to do it because they've created a fun atmosphere, and they want to go see home runs and Penn State.
And dude, that's what was important to me too about like Penn State's offseason. Like they brought some of the best players back to PA.
Yeah.
And ultimately getting some of the best PA guys back on that field, like Paxton Kling, like the Wagner, right?
Yeah.
All those guys, like that, they're important pieces, that can build this program bigger and bigger.
Sal, dude, I mentioned before. I mentioned Adam Ciceri. I think he kind of spearheaded that a little bit last year, coming from Wake. He's a PA guy, right? And just wanted to go home to finish it out and have fun one last year. And bro, did he put up a heck of a year, right? And I think
Arguably, probably like the biggest reason that Penn State was successful last year and this year.
Program changing year.
100%.
that's what I'm trying to get to, like to give him his flowers, right? Because now the other guys in the portal can look to that and be like, wait, this guy was at Wake. He played in the College World Series last year, and he portaled here, and he did nice. And, like, dude, anything can happen if you go play there, man. And, like, you're going to get an opportunity, and, now it's such a fun place to play. I don't see why you wouldn't do it. Because it all, for me, bro, like we were saying from Florida, when I was explaining it to my parents, it wasn't the baseball that was selling me on it. It was the school. It was the atmosphere. It was how much fun it looked like everybody was having. And, like, now you can check that baseball box, too, if you're a portal guy. I think so. It's a good,
dude.
it's a good decision.
And that leads us, into the weekend where we beat Minnesota 10-4. Minnesota scores 1 in the first, doesn't score again until the 7th, and then 1 more in the 9th. Ryan DeSanto, 6-inning start, 4 punch-outs, 2 walks only, 3 hits, minimal damage, minimal stress, and, it allows the offense to go get 10 runs and to win Friday easy.
And that just that propels you into Saturday and then ultimately into Sunday. But Friday night wins are huge, man. If you could put up 10-plus runs on a Friday, that's awesome.
Christian, who swung the shit out of it on Friday? Paxton Kling.
Of course. Paxton Kling, 2 hits. Cole Wagner, 2 hits, 4 RBIs.
How about Jesse Jakonski, 3 for 5?
2 RBIs. I mean, 11 hits as a team. So I talked about this last time, just like offensive efficiency. I like comparing the hits and runs number because if that number's close, it means you're being efficient. You're getting runners in scoring position. You don't have to get multiple hits in a row to score runs. And you know, I haven't looked at the stolen base stats, but a few weeks ago we were leading the Big Ten stolen bases by like 17, something crazy like that. Ryan Weingartner's 22 for 22 stolen bases this season so far.
I don't think we've talked about Ryan Weingartner enough on here.
We haven't talked about him enough. He's having an outstanding year.
He's the shortstop.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like,
Yo,
he's a dog.
I know you could if you're swiping bags like that, you're a dog, homie. Period. And like if he playing shortstop at Medler's not an easy task, bro. And like it's not an easy surface to be honest. And he's handling it well. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, he's leading off playing shortstop for us right now. Like, he's a leader. He's a commander.
Bro, and then you go to a little turf field on the weekend and it's a breeze for the kid.
Yeah. Hey, no shade at our field crew. Our field crews were outstanding.
Oh,
The
dude,
best.
the field's solid. I'm just saying compared to turf, it's harder.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, God forbid anybody
And it
plays
played
real
to our
baseball.
advantage. It played to our advantage because we were ready to take real ground balls on a real field. Like these other turf fields would, like those teams would come in and play against us. They'd kick the ball around all weekend.
Yeah.
Can't get around.
Yeah,
I mean, frozen dirt is tough to field ground balls on, I gotta say.
yeah, but it builds character, dog.
That's right.
And that's what you got Haluba for,
Uh-huh.
To practice on the kid field.
bro. I watched in Haluba. I was like, this. You got to be kidding me, bro. That thing
I
is
should be
cool.
kicking field goals.
Yeah, that thing is sweet.
Oh, yeah, running punishment runs in there for not going to class.
Oh, that wasn't ever me. I was always going to class. There's some other people.
I'm not calling out any individuals. I'm saying as a team.
Well, I know I could think about 3 people off the top of my head that weren't going to class. One of them might be on here, but I'm not going to throw any salt at them.
Dude, Ryan Weingartner.
Switch subject.
Yeah,
Listen
exactly.
to this one. Ryan Weingartner, 22 steal attempts, 22 stolen bases.
Did you think I was lying, Sal?
Yeah, how's 100% sound? That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's why, because teams know he's stealing at this point.
Right.
Dude,
And
stealing
they still
back
can't
this
throw him
year.
out.
Yo, 22 is nice. We're not. How many games have we played?
Dude, we're 79 for
31.
88 stealing bases.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Who's coaching third?
Dirt Devils.
Dude, they're running for it.
They
Yeah,
love getting dirty.
I
love
mean, and from an offensive perspective, that's so important, scoring runs, because that means if you can swipe bags like that, singles are scoring runs.
Yeah,
You know,
because the pitcher's sitting there out on the mound shaking, worried about the guy on first instead of the pitch.
Is that
Right.
what you used to do?
Well, that's when I would have to call time and go tell him it's not that hard to throw strikes, bro. Let's do it.
Especially when those speedsters were out there like Christian with those quick feet, you know?
I was a dirt ball read kind of guy.
Yeah, more of a dirt ball read guy.
Yeah,
Sometimes a little too aggressive on them.
you got to play aggressive.
I agree. Fail big. Fail big as
Who do we got? So we got USC this weekend, huh?
USC. We're tied right now with USC in Big Ten standings. We're both 9-6.
How you feel about it, Sal?
Series.
How do I feel about it? I feel like it's the Rose Bowl. It sounds like the
Yeah,
friggin'
this is a
Rose Bowl to
Classic
me.
Rose Bowl matchup.
Like, is that not crazy, bro? Like, my whole college career, I watched Penn State play USC in football. And
Yeah,
now, okay, USC's playing college baseball against Penn State, and we get to see them every year.
It's so
Yeah,
cool.
There better be rose petals at the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, dude.
I don't know
I'm
about
excited to
Rose Bowl,
watch.
but there would be hot dogs, baby. Volleyball.
No, yeah, bro, and they're going out to Southern California, right? So, like,
No, they're coming to Medler.
oh, they're coming to Medler?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know if those California boys know how to get cold.
I don't think they know how to get down, brother. I think it's gonna be a good weekend for the Penn Staters.
I agree.
Yeah. How often do those guys travel east? Jet lag's going to be real.
Definitely. You're not
So,
lying.
hey, you know USC has 12 national championships, baseball.
Oh, dude, they were loaded. Tom House was their coach once.
Yeah. So it's a historic program, which makes this even more fun. We're like neck and neck in the Big Ten. They have some studs on their team. We have some studs on our team. And this series is really going to put one team in a really good spot, heading into the latter half of the season, and then the other team's going to have to battle back. So there's a lot on the line for this, which makes it even more fun. But two of their guys that I kind of highlighted here for USC, their Friday guy, Caden Hunter, 3.65 ERA, 50 Ks, 20 walks, and 44 innings. He's 6-1. Very similar stats to DeSanto, who's been throwing on Fridays for us. So that Friday night game is going to be awesome. Two really good arms thrown against each other in a huge game. And then their third baseman's second in the Big Ten, hitting 412 with 11 pumps. So,
and dude, I think it's going to be like just really interesting. Like, first of all, like California is, an absolute stomping ground for like really talented baseball players. And, California, they also play a little bit of a different style of baseball, right? So like seeing how our team, handles this weekend playing USC, I think is going to tell us a lot going forward when it comes to like postseason play, right? Because I bet we're going to see a little bit more small ball. And we're going to see really good arms. We're going to see guys who execute. So I want to see our barrels stay hot and execute, against a California team that, typically executes at a really high level and does the small things right? Where ultimately I think our team is very dynamic. I think we do a lot of the small things right. And now, we're going up against a team from a state that, we know has a ton of talent. So, I'm really intrigued and curious to see how we do this weekend playing USC.
Me too. I'm probably more excited for this series than any, partially because USC, big name, historic Pac-12 program. They're in the Big Ten now. It's kind of the first year where we get a little taste of these former Pac-12 teams, having to travel and play against Big Ten teams and get to see how kind of we stack up. Because historically, I think if you're ranking the conferences, the Pac-12 was up there in college baseball. SEC, ACC, Pac-12 are like three conferences. Now,
Big 12 in there.
Big 12 too.
It's loaded.
But Pac-12 would have been ranked above the Big Ten. But look at the standings. Like Big Ten teams are playing extremely well against these newcomers, and this is going to be a great.
Well, hey, listen, the grass isn't always greener. You're not just going to come into the Big Ten and own it.
And that's putting the Big Ten on the map, because I think it gets overlooked sometimes baseball-wise. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, what was it like playing in the Big Ten? Was it good baseball? Yeah, it's really good baseball.
There's a hell of a lot of toughness in the Big Ten.
Yeah. I would argue more than any other conference.
100%.
Power 5 anyway.
Dude, and you could say that about any other sport. Look at the Big Ten when it comes to what up, TK? I'm happy to have you back. But look at the Big Ten when it came to college basketball this year. It's unbelievably successful in the NCAA tournament. Look at the Big Ten when it came to college football bowl games. When it came to college football, conference mismatch games where they're playing the ACC, they're playing the SEC. Dude, the Big Ten every year they win. They win every year.
Yep.
Sorry about that, gentlemen.
It's all right. You got to put the babies to sleep.
No, phone died. Yeah, the babies are good, Sal. Thanks for asking.
Hey, and let's not overlook, I think this podcast will come out after this game, but we're playing West Virginia. They're ranked 11th in the country right now, so I'm excited to see how that game goes as well. Frankly, we've kind of dominated West Virginia in the midweek games.
I used to love playing there, bro.
It is a fun place to go play.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, all them people from out there in the sticks.
Yeah.
You remember?
It's a fun place to play, but I think we had some success against them. It was fun.
We
Dude,
destroyed
Pitt
their
West
RPI
Virginia.
every year.
Yeah, we really did.
We were the RPI killers for West Virginia.
For them and for Pitt.
I think we beat them and knocked them out of a hosting spot in a regional one year.
Good.
Good.
Do you remember Ricky Smith's pregame speech at West Virginia?
Now, Ricky Smith's the funny. It's the funniest teammate of all time. If you guys don't have him on this podcast, I don't know what you're doing.
Dude, I still got a video of this guy dancing in the locker room, and every time I look at it, I'm laughing my ass off.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's the funniest guy around.
For the listeners that don't know Ricky Smith, here's a quick story about him so you know who he is. My man bought off eBay cleats from the 1990s, early 90s. They went up halfway up his shin. And also asked our equipment guy, Weave, for the tightest pants he could get. And that's what he wore. Cleats from the 90s.
Straight out of York, PA.
Yeah. That's a tough guy. I'd go to battle with Rick anytime, dude.
Dude, and athlete. He was an
Great
infielder.
player.
But, dude, we'd get into intramural gym, and we were saucing kids up on the court.
Oh, for sure. He's nice with it, just like you were. And that's what, you got to love guys that are playing multiple sports and just keeping it athletic like that. You know what I'm saying? But my man Rick, he'll take a ball Happy Gilmore style like this, bro, right off his chest and throw the guy out at first base. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
How about that second game at Minnesota, though? Another W?
5-2. That's that game we were really looking for. Can we win that close one? We were down 2-1 and going into the top of the ninth. Score 4. Nate Voss, who came off the bench earlier in the game, came up with a huge hit, 3 RBI double, went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs.
Mason Horwat, 6.1. Quality start and a W. Anthony Steele came in for the second night in a row. Save.
Huge.
I'm in. That's how you take a series right there.
Yep, absolutely. You're going to have to win one of those games almost every series. Very, very infrequently do you win a series without one of those games being like a close one. So to win that game is huge, and we just continued that momentum into Sunday where put up a 15 spot.
We brought the launch pad back out.
That's right. We're catching
Fortnite,
fire.
drop the launch pad, see a ball.
17 hits.
Almost a steak dinner, Sal.
Pumps,
20
dude.
hits is a steak dinner.
That's right.
Dude, you remember those sushi dinners that your parents would get us?
Dude, we got a funny story. Yeah, we took Sal to this place where you had to like sit in the floor. It had like this like
And dude, I was
inverted
freaked
table.
out by sushi. The texture freaked me out. Like that's the thing when I'm eating something like texture, like slimy stuff like that. But TK's
my old
family
man
will
was
put
like,
me on,
"I
and I
got
love
you."
sushi.
Yeah, dude. My old man's like, I got you, Sal. Whatever. We got down, dude. It was fun. I remember that. I would always try to take you and Layman's ass out to do some nice dinners and stuff like that, just because you needed it, man. Y'all were the young guys that were getting it done for us on the mound, bro.
You helped grow me up. You helped grow me up a little bit.
Had to, bro. And you know, I can't get on this podcast without talking about my man Jim Haley. You guys got to get him on here too, because that's the toughest guy around, and he
Straight out of
played the game the right way.
Delaware
Heck yeah,
County,
brother.
baby, Philly boy.
Yeah, that's a tough guy right there, bro. That's a guy who's proud of what's going on with Penn State baseball now too, and you know, it's not easy to be a tough guy year long if you're not winning games, right? But he always was, man. So that was pretty cool to play with him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
dude,
he's
Jim
like
Haley.
he's almost stoic in a way, just even keel all the time.
Consistent.
Yes, that's the best way to describe him.
And he just always he just kept his head down. Like, cause you know how Jim was, you know, there's ups and downs in any season, training, whatever. But dude, Jim, he put his head down and he went to work.
Yeah,
No doubt, dude. No doubt.
And not to mention, I don't know a bigger beast than him.
For real, bro.
I would not mess with Jim Haley.
Me neither, man.
No.
Maybe I would if I really had to get into it, but nah.
Yeah. I don't want to see him in a dark alley somewhere, though, bro.
No.
Well, anyway, going back to that Sunday game, 17 hits, five pumps, 2 from Molinaro again. We had 2 or more hits from our 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 hitters. That's
a recipe for success right there.
Yeah, why can't we just do that every game?
Yeah.
They pretty much do.
They have a lot this year. I think 18, 19, 10-plus run games.
I would need to see what like offensive statistics in college baseball are. Like they have to be high right now. Like the bat's got to be popping right now.
All I know is that Minnesota Sunday pitchers, he might not be the Sunday pitcher no more, Sal.
No, I mean if he's still a Sunday pitcher, he's at the chiropractor getting that whiplash back.
TK, I'll never forget when we were in Minnesota. I think we lost a series to them. I did forget some of it because I got knocked out cold by the smallest player in the Big Ten when we collided.
You did go down. That was pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, these are fake teeth from that moment. But we were all so angry we lost to them, and I'll never forget. You said, TK, you said, I wouldn't even be friends with one guy on that team. How did we lose to these guys? They're a bunch
That's
of
the
nerds.
truth, though, dog. They're a bunch of dorks, and we were losing to them. Like,
I'll never forget that.
I'll tell you what, though. How about the accommodations Penn State set us up with when we went to Minnesota?
Yeah, right beside a Fogo de Chao that I didn't get
dialed in, brother. Yeah, Penn State does it right, man. I'm telling you, like these guys are. It's a good spot for anybody in the portal, that's for sure. But
yeah,
we had some good moments. We also had a couple, McDonald's runs, Golden Corral runs mixed in there too. It wasn't all Fogo de Chao all the time.
I don't know. I think they're getting fillets now.
Yeah, they might be.
Yeah, baby, you
they
gotta
deserve
feed
it, though.
them boys. You want
Let's
the
spread that
bombs.
rumor. They only eat filet when they're on the road.
If you want more home runs and more velo, you better be on a steak diet.
Well, what could be cool is like if they get 20 hits, like maybe our class like sponsors.
Listen, I never seen a chicken with a big neck. Have you ever seen a chicken with a big neck? I never seen a chicken with a big neck. Give me all the red meat.
Either.
That's a good
Sal,
point.
you blew over that. What about a sponsored steak dinner if they get 20 hits this weekend?
Who's sponsoring it?
You, brother.
TK, dude. I don't know if I'm made of
You're
money
a
like
business
you.
owner, Sal. You're a business owner. It's a tax write-off.
Yeah, true. It is tax season.
We'll call Gears or something. He's making $1 gazillion doing something.
Nah, dude,
Yeah.
I'm fired up right now. It is. It's a good time of year. Business is cooking. I got little kids on the field right now. I got high school kids on the field. My little brother's in college right now, following Penn State. Watching some other guys grind and trying to get pro opportunities. Like right now, like spring is here. It's starting to heat up. Like I am fired up for baseball. I am excited.
Absolutely,
like
man.
we're at the midway point, but like it's time for the big dogs to eat.
No doubt, man. It's fun to watch, and I'm excited to watch it this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah,
No doubt.
First time at USC and Penn State. First time as a Big Ten series.
It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome.
We'll be on next week talking about that series once it happens. But TK, I want to ask you do you have a favorite memory, on-field memory from playing at Penn State? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh man, that's tough, bro.
Sal's favorite was throwing a no-hitter for 8.1 innings against.
No, it wasn't. It was shoving it down Indiana's throat.
I love that. Yeah, no, man, I can't even think anything special I did personally, like how Sal could have something like that. I would think like a cool moment with like, bro.
TK, were you not a 300 hitter for 4 years?
I was all right.
Dude, you
My
were
man
the
put
best.
barrels
You
on
were
baseball.
arguably our best hitter for 4 years.
Yeah, no, I did my thing. I'm trying to think like a series specifically. I just remember I used to hate playing pit, bro. Like just again, you put me on the spot a little bit, but one thing I could remember is I used to hate playing pit. It's a long bus ride. Like they like think they're better than us because they're in the ACC and all this crap. And we would go over there, man. And I remember my senior year, I went 4 for 4 against those jokers with 4 doubles, and that was pretty neat, right? To just like my last like pin against Pitt was doing that to him. And then I think we went to Nebraska that weekend, and I always loved playing at Nebraska too. See, that's the thing, man. Like, when these guys are portaling there, they're not realizing that they get to go play at Michigan, Nebraska, now USC,
and that's,
like Oregon.
Dude, and that's what Penn State. That's what we're trying to rival, right? Like the attendance and all of that Nebraska creates, right? Because dude, every time you go to Nebraska, it's a packed house. There's energy. Yep. It's baseball fans. Like, you know, that's some of the coolest stuff. Like that. People don't really recognize is like, first of all, when you have a lot of fans, that's awesome. And then 2, when you have a lot of fans that know baseball, it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're getting standing ovations for, you know, good outings. You know, people are jumping out of their seats when you have the big hit, when you're stealing bags. You know, they're on the umpires. They're just adding more energy, more excitement to the game, and you know, being able to, you know, ultimately produce and do the things that we're doing as a pitching staff, as a, you know, as a lineup, you know, getting more and more people out there, filling those stands, creating that energy. It's only going to help everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's why I'm saying I think as an alumni base, we could do a better job, man. Like, it's fun. We got a good group of guys that all have pride for Penn State, right? And would want to just, you know, continue to make the organization proud in any way. So, like, I went to the Luke Combs concert last year, Sal, and then I went to the game, and that's the first time I've seen a game, like, under the new regime, and, dude, the energy's different, right? So it's going to be cool when that stadium starts packing up, too. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to keep getting better, too.
No doubt.
Only up, baby. Godspeed.
All right, boys. Thank you, TK. It was awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This was an honor.
TK, I'll tell you what, one of my favorite things, too, about you, that was that big yellow truck, player.
Oh, dude.
Bubba.
Dude, that was the biggest yellow truck strolling down campus. TK's in the truck listening to Ice Cream Paint Job.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
TK's driving over top of friggin' little cars.
Brother, that yellow truck is still. So I had to drive that from Okeechobee, Florida, to Penn State. It took me 2 days. All right, and I got that sucker up there, and it like stopped working in the winter all the time. It wasn't used to the cold. But yo, would you believe me if I told you that thing is still in action out at the family ranch, dude? The yellow truck. So
I'm sure you're using it for hog hunting, aren't you?
Oh yeah, dude. Anything we can get our hands on, but. Hey, y'all want to see my buddy's facility really quick? We're at Dallas, Texas.
Show us
I'll bring the camera around. So this is my buddy Franco's place, his coach's office, but he just opened this in November.
That's a good looking place, dude.
What up?
Franco,
Fellas.
What's up, Jake?
Hey, show him what's hanging up in the.
Oh yeah, here. You got to see this, fellas.
Hey.
There it is, baby.
There we go.
Big 3-2.
Keep repping it.
Absolutely, bro. We're repping it all the time down here, man. So thanks again for having me on. It made me happy to hear from you guys, bro.
I want the young kids in Texas wearing Penn State shirts.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, there's some nice prospects down here, some nice high school kids that might want to go up there and take some hacks, bro. So you never know.
Spread the good word.
Absolutely, brother.
But
hey, I appreciate you guys. Love you a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Great
talking
to you,
TK. It's been real.
See you guys. Peace.
Good seeing you.